Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter, we got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds at Denver Comic Con 2015. We hope you enjoy the following interview.
Welcome to Denver Comic Con. This is James Hart from the Real Nerds Podcast, and I'm here with Sue Duff. Say hi, Sue.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Is this the first Denver Comic Con you've come to?
No, I've been here before, but
Okay.
This is the first time I've been a featured panelist and author and everything. So
Very cool.
It makes it a whole lot more exciting.
Cool. Well, why don't you take a second and give our listeners a quick idea of what you do, what you've written, and where they can find you.
I write the Weir Chronicles series,
Okay.
and it's a 5-book series. The first 2 books are out.
Cool.
Fade to Black and Masks and Mirrors, and it's about an illusionist with real powers, and he's a long descendant of a magical race that's dying out on Earth. And so they kind of turn to modern science to try to perpetuate their existence because they're directly connected to the Earth, and if they die out entirely, the Earth will self-destruct on a natural level. And so
Cool.
they don't have great results, though, when they try to mix with Mother Nature and science.
Very cool. That sounds neat. So how did you get into writing? Have you always been a writer? Is it always a passion of yours?
I probably have always been a writer at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote some really awful short story kind of things in high school.
Yep.
People gave me honest criticism, and I didn't really do much of it after that for a long time. And then I had a skiing accident that laid me up for a summer, and I was either going to go crazy, kill my son, who was a teenager at the time, or distract myself. And so I turned on the word processor and started writing, and it got some really positive reviews that time around, and so
Cool.
I just kind of stuck with it.
Cool. Were you always interested in that fantasy element, or was that just something that...
Absolutely,
Cool.
yeah. I grew up entirely on it, that and science fiction, murder mysteries, and I incorporate a lot of different elements into my books. They don't really fit into one particular genre.
Right.
And so, in fact, my obviously with fantastical race of beings mixing with modern science, it's both, fantasy and science fiction
Right.
with this one too.
Yeah. Who would you say your target audience is, or is it something that you feel is pretty open?
I think that pretty much it's wide open because there's a lot of mystery, a lot of suspense, there's a splattering of romance. I have more of an adult feel to the book, but because I write in short chapters, I keep things clean enough and simple enough, and I have a core group of characters, so I don't write from one particular character's point of view. I actually have a lot of teenagers, middle grade, all the way up to YA that also read a lot of it. So
yeah, what were the big hurdles? What were the big struggles that you had getting into that industry? Was there a lot of resistance? Was it something where you just needed to get the right contacts and it took off?
Oh, I think that, for writers, especially here in Colorado, I can't really speak to it somewhere else, but here in Colorado, there's a lot of wonderful supports out there for would-be writers and, true writers at heart. Yeah. So I just started going to conferences, started attending writer groups. I even took a short course of creative writing at a community college that was cheap and simple, and just ended up getting great feedback, loving my professors. They saw something in me and just kept encouraging it.
What was so for me, I'll pull back a little bit of the
Sure.
curtain. So I went to Colorado State and got an English degree with a concentration in creative writing. So I've gone through a lot of this.
Okay.
And I have my own sort of experiences, so I'm leading the question here a little bit. Was there a turning point for you? Was there a moment or a lesson that you had that sort of was the one rule that all of a sudden you felt your writing changed,
Right.
and that is something that you would pass on to other writers?
I joined Rocky Mountain Fiction Writers.
Cool.
It's a wonderful organization that supports novel-length writers,
Cool.
especially. But, I mean, there's poets there. Anybody who wants to learn more about writing,
Yeah.
they have wonderful sessions. But I not really joined, I entered their yearly contest called Colorado Gold, and I ended up placing as one of the 5 finalists in my category. And it was that moment that I realized, okay, from this naysayer of you really don't know what you're doing to, wow, maybe I do know what I'm doing, really made a pivotal moment in my journey that said, okay, just keep plugging away and maybe you really can do this.
It was that encouragement that told you, like, oh, okay,
Absolutely.
this isn't, I'm not insane. I
Right.
thought I was good, and now somebody else is saying it too.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and I think there also, at least for me, there was a part of me that didn't believe I was good.
True.
And so for them to actually say, wow, you were one of the top 5 in the hundreds of entries that we got, really did make me start to say, you know what, stop doubting yourself and just really focus on the fact that this is a good passion and it's going to go somewhere for you if you really work hard enough.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've seen your style change a lot over the last couple of years as you've been doing it, or?
Oh yeah, I think you constantly learn, and every time you get feedback, something changes. Whether making your characters a little bit fuller and richer, and or just making sure that you're honest. I just came from sitting on a panel of what do teen girls like to read. And it was great because the first part of the panel was actually the teen girls talking about what they wanted,
Right.
and what appealed to them in terms of the books they were picking up. And it was really interesting that one of the things they said was honesty.
Yeah.
Honest to the characters, honest to the genre, honest to the storytelling. And that's the one thing that I do feel like I bring to the table. But really, truly, with the help of my editor, he makes me kill off somebody and not bring them back to life. And, he said, no, you can't do that. Just because you write in fantasy doesn't mean you can just,
just
wave
toy
a
with it.
magic wand and do whatever you feel like you want to do. And, you have to be honest. And so far, the critics and the reviewers have said, we really appreciate that because it does bring in more of an element of suspense and intrigue and everything, because they never know what's going to happen in my stories, and I'm willing to kill off somebody if it really does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, a lot of audiences are very desensitized and sort of understand the tropes, like the normal tools that a lot of writers use in their stories, and so we always feel like we're smart enough to know what the writer's going to do next, and so it's really fun when the writer is smart enough to go like, no, like the rules are there and the rules aren't going to be broken.
Right.
And just because you want them to be doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like there are actual consequences to these things.
Yeah.
It's an intangible thing that I have a hard time when I go from one movie to a book or something like that, and I actually notice that I feel dread in some cases and I don't in others, because in other cases I'm like, okay, I know Captain America's always going to be fine.
Yeah, right.
But how come when I go see Mad Max I don't know that Max is always going to be fine? Like, what is the difference there? It's a tough line to draw, and it has
really
a lot to
is.
do with how confident that writer is to say, like, I'm going to go there for sure.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
And I think also, making sure that you give them a good read.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of twists in my books. You think you know what's going on. The characters think they know what's going on. And then I throw these wrenches in. But to me, it's like a promise to the readers that, okay, there's a bigger story. There's something deeper in this onion of layers that you keep, traveling my course with me and my journeys. And I promise you it's always a kind of a promise to the readers. Yeah, pick up the next book. You're going to see that there's even more to this. And so if they enjoy the first one and then they pick up the second one and they're blown away by the ending of the second one, it's only because that's my promise to the fans that, oh yeah, you'll enjoy the third one.
Yeah. It's funny, since you brought up the panel about what a young women like reading, which, like, as a feminist and a Buffy fan, like, even the question to me, like, when you first said it out loud, I was like, they like women reading the same thing that everybody else likes reading. That you don't draw lines. Yeah. But the truth is, there's certainly a line there.
Right.
Do you find that young women read your books or get something different out of your books? Like, do they relate to you in a different way than young men do?
Because my protagonist, at least in the very first book, is a young, male illusionist with real powers, I ended up attracting both, the teen males along with the females. And, who doesn't love magic?
Yeah.
And in fact,
sure.
when I had my book signing earlier at the start of the conference today, I had a magician at my booth.
Oh, cool.
And doing all kinds of wonderful magic tricks and just blowing people's minds. And to me, that's what I think attracted the boys, the male influence. It's universal. But there was as many girls, young girls, men, mothers that stood there just fascinated and loving what he was doing. And I think that is more of a universal kind of topic that kind of pulled the readers in from the very start. And even though I have a splattering of romance, it's really not what the books are about. And it's not even something that's pursued as everything goes on, because it's not really the core of the story.
Yeah.
And, people fall in love. They also fall out of love. And as a writer, it's okay to do that. And I'm not promising that things are always universally stuck.
Yeah, and I like a little romance in my stories too. So it's not just a girl thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right.
Do you are you really involved in like that community, and like do they bring you out for a lot of those talks about?
I'd like to do more and more of it. Yeah. I'm just really feeling like I'm getting my feet wet right now. I put out the first 2 books in this series about 6 months apart.
Yeah.
And so it's been pretty intense just trying to get that taken care of and, out there in the market. But the response, the reviews have been fabulous. But I'm also, by day, I'm also a speech therapist in a school district. And so I really feel like I have a lot of touch with the younger kids and 5th graders, middle graders. If I know their teachers, some of them are using my books as examples of just trying to get the kids to do more reading. So I would love to be a bigger piece of that than I already have been.
That's cool. Okay, so can I switch gears? Can we
Sure.
talk about speech therapy?
Sure.
How did you get into that? What is that your passion? It was like
it's been my passion for years. Yeah, right along with the reading or writing and reading too.
And the reading
I was
too,
always
right?
been a passionate reader. It was one of those things where my sister had a speech impediment. We had a speech therapist come to our house way back when that really happened.
Right.
And I got fascinated. I had an aunt that was a speech therapist in Louisiana and came to visit one time, and I was fascinated by sign language and tried to pick up on things on my own. And just a lot of encouragement when I was in high school to kind of pursue it, and I ended up loving doing it. Yeah. That's
cool. Do you use any of either the things you write or just like, because Denver Comic Con is very special in that, unlike every other convention that's out there, like it exists to help promote Pop Culture Classroom and
Right.
using pop culture to educate kids. Have you experimented with any of that? Like, is there something to using your books or comics or movies to help people in those situations?
Well, what I ended up doing was I have a real love for Earth and space sciences.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what I incorporated and based my entire world building, my characters, my magical race was that they have a direct connection to the core of the earth.
Right.
And so they can control a lot of the energies that are just natural energies of the earth and a lot of the things that occur there. So what happened was, as I was doing my research and doing and creating my world building, if I couldn't attribute one of their magical powers to some kind of earth or space physics, I don't use it.
Right.
And so anything, even from the disappearing to the self-healing, any of those kinds of things that I use in my stories, I have some kind of scientific basis for it.
Cool.
And that a lot of the teachers, especially the science teachers and all, in fact, I did a blog post for a group of teachers, and I did entire lesson plans and everything else for them based on just my book subject matter.
Very cool. That's really neat. Well, so how can people find you? How can they support you? What's next for you?
Hopefully book 3 will come out in February. That's
Okay.
the plan. And then The Weir Chronicles is on Amazon. It's all over the ebook series. In fact, as a celebration on my part for being a part of the Denver Comic-Con this year, my Weir series, both books, Fade to Black and Masked and Mirrors, is on ebook special for just 99 cents each.
Ooh, man.
But they're also available anywhere books are sold, whether they're on the shelf. They're all over the tattered cover. They're at Bookies here in town.
Cool.
And or they can be ordered through any other bookstore. And Barnes & Noble is carrying it too. So.
Cool. Awesome. If do you have a Twitter, website, anywhere where people can find you?
Twitter. What is my Twitter account? I'm Sue Duff 55.
Cool.
For Twitter, and my Facebook is Sue Duff Writer.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we will for sure have to follow you and check you out because this sounds really exciting.
That's great.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, Sue.
Oh, it's been fun. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this exclusive Real Nerds interview at Denver Comic-Con 2015, and we'll see you next year. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.